on Facebook. In our social media world, my name is Broderick Taylor. I'm with TFT Organization. Hey, welcome to the Full Wealthy Word Podcast Show. We are here at Streetside Classic, one of our sponsors. We are here at our monthly Caffeine Classic and Community event. And welcome to the Full Wealthy Word Podcast Show. We have a special guest, the owner, the one and only, from Painless Performance Products. We got Mr. Dennis. Mr. Dennis, thank you for coming on.
My pleasure.
Yes,
Glad
sir.
to be
Yes,
here.
sir. Now, I didn't want to butcher the last name, so I wanted you to.
Okay, it's called Overholser.
Overholser.
Yep, four syllables, Overholser. Yep.
Overholser. I got it now. I got it. So now, our next one, I will be introducing his full name. We're going to be over at Poly High School. We're going to be actually using the harness. Mr. Dennis here is one of our sponsors from Painless, of course. We have a 1984 C10 truck that we're building up. The kids at the Fort Worth ISD School, Poly, Dunbar, ODY, Trimble Tech. Did I miss anybody? Northside. So these kids are all building up this truck from frame up, for scholarship money. And so what we're doing and what Painless is helping us out with is teaching our kids about automotive training. Would you agree that not all the kids are going to college these days and they need to be in this field?
No, you're by far much better off if you don't go to college in this time.
Right.
The skilled trades they outpay the college kids, and the college kids, most of them take classes that you can't get a job with, that type of situation. So
right.
yeah, I am 100% behind technical schools.
Good deal. So
in fact, I went to one myself.
You went to one? Okay, so that's all I'm about to dive into. Tell me a little bit about it. So we know you're the owner of Painless. We know you wrote a couple of books. What's the name of your books? You want to get into that?
It's hot rod wiring.
Okay.
Yeah, there's three different ones. I had one come out in the 90s, then one in the 2000s, and the newest one is still on the marketplace through Amazon.
Okay.
But it's all about hot rod, trucks and so forth, different wiring, fuel injection, all those type of things.
Okay. So how long has the company existed? Tell me that.
Started it in 1990.
Okay.
I built the first harness and displayed it at the Fort Worth Car Show back in March of 1990 in a 37 Ford. And my theory was to build a harness that is as complete as possible for underneath the dash, and then you lay the wires out and you customize it to your particular vehicle. Because we were in the street rod business at that.
Okay, that's what I was going to get into next.
And so everybody's street rods are different.
Right.
And you may have a Chevrolet or Ford or whatever it might be.
Yes, sir.
But this one harness will fit them all because it's customizable to your vehicle. That was the whole theory behind the project.
All right, so Painless started in the 1990s. How did you get there? You mentioned using hot rods. So tell me the before Painless. Give me a little backdrop on it.
We'll start pretty much at the beginning. How's that?
There we go.
I was raised on a corn farm in Indiana.
Okay.
And graduated out of high school and went through 4 years of industrial arts.
Okay.
Automotive,
yes, sir.
woodworking, all the different things that were all offered at the time.
Yes, sir.
And so I did that, graduated in '65 and was working at a Chevrolet car dealership in the cleanup area,
Okay, make ready, clean up and all that.
Then I went, I applied for school in Nashville, Tennessee for the Nashville Auto Diesel College.
Okay.
And I went there until Uncle Sam knocked on my door and says, young man, it's time for you to come to the military.
There you go.
We had the draft and everything there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I did not really want to go into the Army, so I went down and had real high SAT scores in electronics and mechanical. So I went to the Air Force, and they took me the same day. And
just to let y'all know, if you're in the Air Force, you're smart. Let's just put it like that. If you're in the Army and the Marines like myself, you're not too smart. So, all right, so we know now Mr. Dennis is smart. All right, continue.
Anyway, so I went in the military and kind of a unique story, but because my aptitude tests were all higher in electronics than they were mechanical,
yes, sir.
They put me in the electronics school at Chenandoah Air Force Base in Illinois. Well, about 2 months in, I found out what was going to happen. When I graduated, they were going to put me in a silo down about 300 feet below ground.
Right.
With the Minuteman missiles.
Right.
Well, claustrophobia set in on that deal. So no, this isn't going to work. So I flunked.
Okay.
And my captain was livid. I mean, he was not a happy guy.
Yeah. Because he knew your abilities.
Well, yeah, they when they assign you with something, they expect you to do it.
Exactly.
So he called me in and we talked about it, and I said, he says, Airman, just what is it you want to do? I says, I want to be a mechanic, sir. He says, you nuts? And yeah, that's what he said. And
I can see that.
And he says, we talked some more and more and more. And then at the end of the conversation, he says, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to transfer you out of the 60th Squadron to the 48th. And the 48th is school for mechanics.
Okay.
I said, okay. So he did, and he says, but there's one stipulation. If you don't graduate in the top of your class, you're going to be walking a dog along this fence line for the next 4 years. So that was a little pressure.
Yes,
but
it was.
Sure enough, they transferred me. I went to school and graduated number 2. Number 1 guy had a 96 and I had a 95.
There you go.
So he was happy, and then got shipped out to Bitburg, Germany, and worked up in vehicle maintenance and so forth there, and had the same captain over there.
Oh man, that's good.
And it was pretty strange. I said, Captain Phillips, you here too? Yeah, I'm here too. So I'm over there for 18 months, and I came back and was stationed at the Travis Air Force Base in California. I worked machine shop most of the time because we had a lot of forklifts and needed a lot of parts made.
Right.
And sure enough, guess who the captain was?
Oh man, trifecta.
Yeah.
Trifecta.
Yep. So anyways, so I got out of the military, moved back to Indiana. I couldn't handle it very long because it's just too cold. And on the farm, and everybody wanted you to work on their combines out in the snow and that kind of stuff. So I got married, and short side, my wife's mother was living down here, so we came down here and visited. And next thing I know, I'm in Fort Worth, Texas.
There you go.
Been here ever since, and I lived, around town and so forth. But I went to when I got here, I had to have a job of something.
Right.
So I looked in the paper, and there was an ad for a Ford tractor mechanic.
Okay.
So I said, okay, I'll go and apply, because I worked on a bunch of those in the military as well. So I did. Applied on a Wednesday, went to work Thursday, and worked there 20 years. And I was a line mechanic, and I was like you. I drove big truck for a long time.
Right. Okay.
Because all the tractors were made in Romeo, Michigan. So I would get an empty truck, go to Romeo, Michigan, load it up with brand new tractors, and bring it back home, turn right around and go again. So
back and forth. That's what we do.
Yep. So amongst all that time, starting in 1983, I joined the National Street Rod Association.
Okay.
And there was a guy there that I knew, and he says, we're always looking for leaders inside the organization. They're called reps, in other words.
Okay.
So he says, maybe you should apply. And I did. And I think in 84, late 84, early 85, I went to work as a volunteer. And we had a special blue shirt that you wear and all that kind of stuff. We go to different rod runs and car events and so forth.
Now, at this time, did you have your hot rod?
Oh yeah.
Okay. What
now when I was in high school, I built my first one. It was a 33 three-window coupe Ford, flathead, multiple carburetors, that kind of stuff. Okay. When I was in the military, I had a little 62 Chevy 2 convertible. When I got out of the military, I always wanted a T-bucket roadster, so I built one of those.
Okay.
And then sold it and bought a little Morris Minor off a guy over on the north side and made a little gasser. And I used to race out at Green Valley all the time. So I've had a multitude of cars. I mean, probably 20 or 30 different kinds.
All right. We'll get to that favorite one here in a little bit. There's always a favorite in every bunch. There's always a favorite.
So,
Okay.
So, anyways,
You got out here in Fort Worth.
so I went, and I was in Fort Worth and working as a mechanic and wiring other guys' cars besides my own and so forth. I had fun. I did a lot of transmission work for friends and so forth. So. That. So I'm going to all these different rotting events across the country, for the National Street Rod Association, and I began to know a lot of people. Was introduced to a lot of people, builders, vendors, or distributors, dealers, different parts and all those kind of things. So in '89. I'm still wearing a shirt. In '89, a friend of mine here in Fort Worth says, I know this guy that has a wiring harness company, and he's looking for someone to help him design one for hot rods.
Okay.
I'm still working at the tractor dealer. And I said, okay, I'll go talk with him. So I did. And he was building wiring harnesses for the van conversion industry back in the day, where everybody had those custom vans and all that. That's what he did. So it was kind of nice. I had all the stuff that I needed, but I just worked there at night and doing some different things and developed.
So you working there, and you working nights?
Working nights, working the tractor dealer during the day.
Okay.
And then on weekends I would load up and go to some car show someplace.
Right. Okay.
So I. After the car show that I was telling you about a little while ago, where I debuted my first harness, I built 3 more, and then took them down to the paint swap meet. This is back when it was still down south, down at Paint Museum, and sold all 3 of them in the first 3 hours.
Wow.
And then
that's when you knew you had something.
I think we got something going here. So then I came back. I built several more, and then the Street Rod Nationals that year was held in it was held in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
So I took 10 of them up there. Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Sold them all the first morning.
Matter of fact, let me. Hey guys, just want to let y'all know real quick. Dunkin' Donuts, thank you guys for sponsoring our donuts and our coffee this morning. But I got hot chocolate, and I picked up somebody's coffee cup. So if y'all saw that face I made, it's because it's not mine. So let me change that, eat a donut. That, just to let y'all know, excuse me, that was the first ever I ever tasted coffee.
Is that right?
I never liked the smell of it. My big mother, they used to take us to the Big Mama house, and that's what they always had was coffee. I never liked the smell of it. And now, I definitely don't like the taste of it. Man, that's gross.
I used to drink a lot of it when I was a scoutmaster for 7 years, and we'd take the sock, put the coffee in the sock and throw it in the big old blue pot, and put it on the fire.
Woo, man, I don't know how y'all do it. But it's not me. I'm gonna stick with the chocolate. All right, sorry about that. But I saw the opportunity. He was taking a drink of water, so hey, I had to do something there. But thank you, Dunkin' Donuts. Thank you, Miss Lee. All right, so
we sold
we
all.
took 10.
Took 10, sold them all the first day, and then I said, we got something going here. But the nice thing about when we started all this stuff was that I knew all the dealers, whether it be Yogi's or Yearwood or Charlie Balcom or whoever it might be, that was at these shows.
Okay.
And so I had no issue at all taking, if a customer came up and said, okay, I want one, and I said, okay, I'm not going to sell it to you, but I'm going to take you over to C.W. Yearwood and let him sell it to you.
There you go.
And you feed the dealer. That's how you build a program.
That's it. That's it.
So that's what we did. That's how I did it.
Okay. Well, that's obviously it worked. And
it's still working.
It's still working, exactly. Again, we're here with Painless Performance Products. They're here in Fort Worth, Texas. You can see them on any hood of a car. You're going to see Painless. We're thankful for him supporting us and supporting our automotive team with our youth. And so we talked about the collection of cars, over 20 something in a lifetime. So let's get to that favorite. Which one are we looking at to be the favorite?
Well, I tell you, the one I wished I had back
Okay, we always had that one.
was one I had in high school. A 56 Chevrolet convertible.
Okay.
And it was loaded. It had Wonder Bar radio. It had everything.
Had everything in there.
That's the one I wish I had back.
So will you get it back? Will you ever look for it and you wouldn't get it?
No, it was. Okay. I'm sure it's in a wrecking yard, crushed someplace by now. But,
Right.
But
okay. Well, let me ask you a question now. We talked about you supporting us with the youth program. What do you see our youth going when it comes to the mechanic field? We know that the college people are getting degrees; they can't earn a living. We know that there's a need for mechanics and other trades. So, if you was to give advice to some kids out here, which you will at Poly when we get to Poly,
sure.
But most of those kids are on the right track. What would you say to these kids these days who's struggling? I mean, it's just so much insecurity out here in direction. What would you say to them?
It's really a tough one. There's so many of these kids that they have the smarts, they just don't know how to use them. And a lot of them have the smarts and know how to use them, but they don't have the opportunity.
Okay.
And, like the students that you're working with now, a lot of them don't have the opportunity.
Right.
And I understand that. And 90% of our employees are not who you'd think they were. They're almost all of our employees are immigrants.
Yes, sir.
Most of them don't speak English, but we're giving them the opportunity.
There you go.
And they're thrilled to death to have that opportunity.
There you go.
And I've been to several technical schools. In fact, I've worked along several years with Texas A&M. I've been with Lincoln Tech. I've been to UTI, doing seminars and so forth.
Yes, sir.
And the key to it is if we can find one of these kids, boy or girl, it doesn't make any difference.
Right.
If we can find these kids and give them the opportunity,
yes,
and
sir.
somehow give them the opportunity where they can succeed,
yes, sir.
They have the opportunity in America to be like me.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate.
Well, I tell you what, one of the great things about your shop, and I've been over to the facility over there off of Beach Street, Beach and 30 here in Fort Worth, and I saw the employees, but it's like a small knit family. They and that's that culture that you've given them the opportunity. I mean, that's what's needed everywhere. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking the big companies, but a lot of them don't have that culture in there. What I saw at your location, and so once again, I'm not knocking them, but there's a difference. There's a difference from what you're doing and for what a lot of other companies doing. And unfortunately, it's the love of the money, I think. I think you're more a family man, family oriented versus these big executives. It's all about the numbers, and I'm not knocking them either. Everybody has their thing. But of course, we're doing this because we're community people. We're doing it for the community people. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for reaching out, to families, to migrants, or whoever needs a job and giving them the opportunity to support their families and their kids,
Yep.
This is not our last interview with Mr. Dennis. And I thought y'all was looking for me to say that last name, but I'm gonna practice it some more before I say it again, you know. And so, but hey, if you don't mind, if you have some time,
I got plenty of time.
Okay, the wife is out of town for a little bit. So.
She's out of town for 3 weeks.
Oh man, you got a lot of time. So hey, y'all go by and visit Mr. Dennis. He ain't doing nothing, you know. He's over at Painless Wires over here in Fort Worth. But yeah, let's take a tour. Streetside, introduce you to Miss Denise, and we'll end it like that. Thank you guys again. Thank you for the support for Painless Performance Products. We're here at Fort Worth. We're at the Fort Worth podcast show, and we're at Classic Caffeine and Community. Excuse me. And hey, thank you, Mr. Dennis.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
Hey, we'll see y'all here shortly. And until then, y'all stay blessed. Enjoy. Thank you. Well, good morning. Good morning. Hey, we're here at Streetside Classic. Welcome to Classic Caffeine and Community. We want to thank our host, Streetside Classic, and our sponsors that allow us to come here today. And we just want to thank you for having Mr. Jason Lorch here. We're going to get into a little of his background, a lot of his background. But today what we want to talk about is church in our community. And so my name is Broderick Taylor. We got Mr. Jason Lorch. Welcome to our Full Wealthy Work podcast show. And again, thank you for all our sponsors. And so today, like I said, we're going to dive in to Mr. Jason Lorch here. Mr. Jason, you're from Colorado?
Yes,
Okay.
Born and raised the Denver area, so Aurora, Colorado, which in and of itself is, I believe, still the third largest city in Colorado.
Okay.
But it's right there in the Denver metro area, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, since Denver, we just had some kids. Hope Farm, we work with Hope Farm over here in Fort Worth. Great organization that deals with fatherless boys who don't have positive male role models. So they just took a trip up there. And we actually had one kid that got sick. About the elevation.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing, for sure.
You know, and so we had to, I didn't know it. I haven't been there myself, so maybe one day I'll go experience that. But yeah, you know, they take some kids, maybe 6 kids out there skiing every year.
Okay.
Got a great, obviously a great sponsor who does that.
Yeah.
Our kids need experiences like that. Normally our kids just stay here in our community, but they need to widen their, what you say, widen their geo, you know, things that they know. And skiing, you can tell by the photos, they had a great time. Besides the one kid who got 6.
No, it can happen to anybody, that elevation sickness.
It's a real deal.
Yeah, so Denver is the Mile High City, which a lot of people know about. I actually, I grew up there, but I spent a year and a half in Leadville, Colorado, small town in the mountains. That's actually the 2 Mile High City, so right at 10,200 feet. And so elevation sickness was a regular thing for people coming through. Now, if you live there, you get used to it and you acclimate.
Right.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun if bringing friends out from the Midwest and go hike a mountain, and all of a sudden they're rolling down the window on the way back and spilling their guts.
That's fun for the residents, not the visitors.
not for the visitors.
All right, good deal. Well, we'll have to get out there one weekend or 1 week, spend some time out there. It'd be nice. And so your background, you grew up in church. You was homeschooled.
I was.
All right, so you never got a chance to see that. What school? Take me from homeschooling in Colorado in a Christian household versus what we deal with the inner city kids in public school. Tell me what you're thinking.
Well, so first of all, it was somewhat of a unique experience for me. Yes, I was homeschooled. I did play sports, and I was in band in the public school, and so I did get a taste of that, and then had a little bit of Christian school interaction as well. So I had all of the different elements of that. So yeah, as a homeschooler, looking back, I will say there were a lot of aspects that I didn't get. A lot, I mean, I think was very beneficial for me. Some aspects, you're always going to miss out on something, you know. And so I think later on, especially, I went to a Christian college, and I connected with a ministry team that we traveled all over the East Coast and the Midwest, and really got to interact with different types of teenagers, as far as different backgrounds, public school, Christian school, homeschool, and really opened my eyes to the different needs out there, and really that came to a head. One of the summers I was still working with that team, but every summer they team up with a church in the Detroit area. And
wow, that's a big need out there in Detroit.
Oh, exactly.
You know,
and we would go work with other churches in the area, each week a different emphasis, and just reach out into the community. We'd go knock on doors and invite them to a community event on the Saturday, and we just do hot dogs, cotton candy, bounce houses, and just an opportunity for that church in that community to interact with the people around them, their neighbors.
Okay.
And so in so doing that, I got to see the different elements, especially like you said in Detroit. You've got a lot of different areas, even within Detroit, that ultimately need Jesus.
Right.
As a Christian,
more than some,
but they're tough neighborhoods.
Right.
So, and then there are areas where there are more affluent aspects of Detroit, and we would go knock on those doors. And what's pretty interesting, the more affluent areas, we would maybe have 50 people show up. I mean, you don't really need a hot dog and cotton candy when you've got everything.
Yeah. You eating Chick-fil-A, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But then other weeks when people did not have as many resources available to them, I mean, we'd have 600-700 people show up, and just a tremendous opportunity to interact with them and really get to see their needs and be able to connect them to the church.
Okay, well, good deal. I'm going to dial back because y'all heard when he said that he played sports, and you mentioned you was in a band. So I hope I don't offend a lot of band people out there. So is band the sport in Denver, Colorado? Or, no, but I know you play soccer, so I'm just wanting to poke fun. My neighbor, she's a band director at Trimble Tech, so she probably be throwing some rocks at my house when she's watching this. So. But no, so you was a sports guy. I know that ended tragically. I believe you got injured. You want to dive into that a little bit?
Yeah. It I wouldn't say tragic. Sports, it's almost inevitable. Things are going to happen. My senior year of college, our team was pretty decent for the size school that we attended. Again, it was a small Christian university, but we played at a decently high level, and I was a team captain, and this was our year to win the national tournament.
Captain Lorch, I can see it now.
Exactly
Captain
right.
Lorch.
But our first home game of the season, I blew my ACL, so my knee was out, and there no more soccer for that year. So
how did the team do? How did Captain Lorch make a difference where they, the trajectory went south?
So we did not win the national tournament. Still did great. We had plenty of other guys who
stepped up,
who did step up, but I feel like I could have made a difference, and I wasn't there. But ultimately, looking back, there's always you can see the trajectory. Looking back, hindsight is 20/20, and it's from that experience that God showed me. You know what, Jason? Up to this point in your life, soccer has been almost everything to you. Maybe it's not as big a deal as you think it is. And
now we get to the nitty-gritty.
Exactly.
There you go.
And from there, he just opened up different doors to really be able to do things like this Detroit ministry, this traveling, seeing different churches, and just developing more of a heart for people, which ultimately, as a Christian, we're called to to reach out and to have that heart. So that's been a good journey for me.
Okay, so I can look at it, like you said, looking back, I'm looking at that because let's say if that Christian college would have went off and won the national championship, I can see Mr. Captain Lorch maybe getting a contract somewhere, and he wouldn't be here.
I would have been pro for sure. So I wouldn't be sitting here.
See what I'm saying? So, hey, thank you for ACL injuries.
Exactly.
You never want to, to reflect pain on anyone. But, hey, I'm glad that God sent you our way. It's been a pleasure, learning from you. Tonight, I consider you as a brother, and like you mentioned, connecting with people in the community is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Right. So we have a good plan that we want to go out here and reach our communities, reach the needs of our community. And so with that said, most of the youth that we deal with, most of the families that we deal with, it's the absentee of a father, of a male figure. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the issues that we see as huge in these communities that we're working in, right? So what do you see is, how do you look at it biblically, where God has set all this up, and how important it for the man to step up to lead his family?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I mean, if you go back to the very beginning of the Bible in Genesis,
yes, sir.
It says that, hey, God created us, male and female, to be a unit, and to have that relationship, and then to multiply and prosper and really raise up your families to continue the flourishing. And of course, if you get a couple chapters into Genesis, chapter 3, it says that something went horribly wrong, and Adam and Eve disobeyed God and introduced sin into the world.
Right. And
ever since that point, things have just been going downhill. The goal, throughout Scripture is to get back to what God's original intention was, and ultimately I see the family unit as being that core example of what God's intention is. And so when you take out the father, that is removing a core aspect of training up a kid. In Proverbs chapter 22, it says, raise up a child in the way that they should go, and when they're older, they're going to stick to that. Right. How are you going to raise up a kid if you're not even there? Yeah. And I'm not taking anything away from the single mothers out there. A lot of ladies are stepping up, but they can never fill that God-intended role for the dad to be there.
Correct.
And so ultimately, our goal as Christians is to encourage the guys to step up and to take on that responsibility, because we see headlines and anything you read about politics. There's always somebody coming up with some plan to make things all better. It's not going to happen if we do not teach truth. First of all, to the parents, and then from them down to the kids. Exactly.
Well, I tell you what, God didn't make a mistake. His plan was solid, was bulletproof, and we did screw it up. Like you mentioned, a few chapters in the Bible, we screwed that up. And so, but what we're doing, we're looking to go back out here. We can't mend families, we can't make a man go love his family or get back with his wife or whatever. But we do want to speak that truth into them.
That's right.
And that's what's exciting. We look at it. I'm going to use myself as an example. All my life I thought I was a man. But then when I started comparing myself to a godly man, you see, a godly man, it was like, man, I was nothing. I was, zero. My eyes opened up and like, man, everything that I thought was incorrect. That's something similar. I'm gonna go back to Hope Forum. Our verse of the month is Romans 12:2. The renewing of your mind.
Yeah.
You know, don't let this world take you. You focus on this world, you're never gonna be successful. You're never gonna be a real godly man, or you're not gonna be speaking the truth. But so you gotta rewire your mind to know that, hey, I gotta do the right thing, regardless of what my worldly thoughts, my worldly body wants to do. It's hard, man. So it's hard. So for an example, you have, not an example, but what do you think that, hey, how we doing, sir? You doing all right?
How's it going, Mr. Hoffman?
We have a special guest. Come sit here in the middle, Mr. Bob. Come on over. I'm so great surprise. Come on in. He's here now.
Okay. Well,
We got another chair here.
Okay. Oh, go ahead. Take mine. There you go. Sit right there.
Right.
You can just
All right,
take
here we
mine.
go.
I'll slide in.
Here, Broderick, you sit here. We'll just
Okay.
stick this
Okay.
other
Can
chair
that
here.
work? Hey, Facebook. Are we all in? Did you get everybody in? I do. Let me stand up if that's okay.
Yeah, and I can pass this off to Mr.
We will let us
Bob.
end this here shortly.
Yeah.
All right. So, Mr. Bob, welcome. Thank you. We're talking to Mr. Jason here, and we're talking about the man and being a father in the community.
Okay.
And so, Mr. Jason, we've just given an example. You'll finish this up for us, and we'll let you go. How hard have you seen? Because I know you witnessed to a lot of young men, a lot of men, for them to turn that corner when they are a worldly man versus godly man. How hard is it? How tough have you seen men struggle with doing the right thing?
Oh man, I will say, it's hard for anybody to change their mind. When you're set in your ways, it's going to be that much more difficult to change those.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, how you view yourself and how you view the world is going to affect every aspect of your life.
Okay.
And so, going back to what you're saying, we can't change people,
Right.
but we can share the truth.
Okay.
And this, what I see the Bible saying, really does relate to every single aspect of our lives. And so it's a journey.
Yeah.
You share the truth, and even Jesus shares a parable. Sometimes that truth lands on ground that's hard, that's never going
Stony,
to
prickly.
take root.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Sometimes that truth is going to fall on soil that a plant is going to grow up and flourish.
Yes, sir.
That's not my job to figure out how that plant is going to flourish or respond to it. It is my job to plant that seed.
There you go.
And so, to answer your question, it's a variety of responses.
Okay.
But just being faithful and sharing what I know God's word says. It's
Doing
not up
our
to
part.
me.
Doing our part.
I don't have to worry about what God's word says.
Right.
All I have to share what it says and let God do the rest.
There you
I
go.
don't have to interpret it,
Okay,
or I don't have to try to make it fit. This one guy, more than just being able to apply it. Hey, this is what God actually says, and how He can change your life.
Well,
like He's changed my life.
There you go. Well, I tell you what, Mr. Jason, I'm sorry, Captain Lorch. We call him
There
Captain
you go.
Lorch now. You know, he got a nickname out there. Y'all see this guy out in Fort Wealthy Worth. We're going to call him Captain Lorch. And so, hey, I want to thank you for your time this morning.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, are you ready to start planting seeds with me, brother?
Here we go.
Are
Let's
you
do
ready?
it.
Hey, man, I thank you. I love you. And I can't wait. We're going to be getting started here very soon. Everyone, thank y'all for Mr. Jason Lorch, Captain Lorch. We'll be seeing y'all soon. Well, I'm going to turn around. We got Mr. Bob Hoffman. What a great surprise for us, guys. And can we get that mic?
Yes, you may indeed.
All right. Mr. Hoffman, let me get you mic'd up here, sir.
Okay.
And so as you know, we're sitting here talking about the absentee of a man in the household, but we're going to just turn...
May I just share one?
Yes,
if I
sir.
can just kind of piggyback off of what Jason mentioned.
Yes, sir.
The example as well is imperative. I think about what the Apostle Paul said to young Timothy in chapter 2 of 2 Timothy. let no man look down on your youthfulness, but in faith, love, and purity, be an example.
Okay.
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 And I think that that is imperative, and you know, but in order to be an example, God has to do something in our own lives as well first, before we can do that.
Okay.
And I really just, you know, totally agree with what Jason said. You know, I think that you know, just the condition of the way things are now these days. You know, it's you don't have to second guess about, you know, the situation that we face in terms of young people.
So you
know.
mean that I couldn't be wilding out, going to the clubs, having multiple women, just breaking the law, and then say, "Hey, go to church and love God." I can't be that person. My way is much funner, you know.
Well, if you don't want to be labeled as a hypocrite,
right,
you know, by many non-believing people.
Okay, I got you.
know,
I got you.
And believe me, they'll look at it, every opportunity to do that as well.
All right. Well, hey, again, I thank you for coming on. It was a great surprise. I see your hat. So the first thing I want to thank you for serving.
Okay.
You know, I see the U.S. Navy. I'm a Marine guy, so I know you. They call y'all our big brother. So you know, hey, it is what it is. So would you like to dive into that? Tell us a little bit about your time in.
Well, first of all, I've spent most of my life with connected with a parachurch organization called the Navigators. Early on in my Navy time, back in 1972, as a young sailor, a fellow took an interest in my life, helped me to grow spiritually, and actually journeyed with me in my walk, in my new walk with Christ. Helped me to grow, helped me to get into the Word, quiet times, memorizing Scripture, meditating. Bible studies, and most of all, just sharing my faith, learning how to share my testimony, learning how to share the gospel with young men.
Okay. Well, you know, I'm thankful for that individual who came alongside of you. You know, because now you're coming alongside of me. You know, and I'm so thankful. You know, we had our meeting yesterday morning. And to let everybody know, I am learning from Mr. Bob, and he goes through the Navigators. But we just pick up, is it a program, what you call Every Man a Warrior?
Every Man a Warrior.
Okay, well, we just picked up a program. We're going to go through this curriculum. It's a 32-week curriculum. It takes, 32 weeks. That's a big commitment. But it's targeting families, you know, marriage, finances. What else am I mentioning? Work, yes sir. Discipline, and of course our community. And so I'm excited about that. Yesterday was motivating. One of the things that I struggle with is memorization. And so I told Mr. Bob, I was like, man, my memory is bad, And so it took me 2 weeks to memorize Matthew 22, 36 and through 38, But this program, it made me do my work because I know that you have to meditate on the word. Yeah. Morning, noon, and night. And so which is outstanding. So, all right. So I'm dive back into your career.
Well, to kind of piggyback on that, like I mentioned to you yesterday, you and I are doing this together because I've never done this program before.
Yes, sir.
Discipline is not a new thing for me, or that type of thing, or discipleship. But this program is
right,
and so I'm stepping into it as well,
right,
and so we're doing it together.
Exactly.
We're joining hands together in terms of doing
it. So with that program, I know one part at the end of that first day, just the introduction, it had a part in there where it says, what did you take out of that lesson? And what I took out of it was that it has a commitment page where you signed and dated.
Yeah.
So that was that was a shocker, and that lets you know that, hey, this is serious stuff. Yeah. And so it's not just also teaching us the family, the community, work and finance, it's also leadership development.
Yeah.
And so of course I definitely need that, so we can share it. Basically, we're going to be out in the community just trying to help out where we can, and we look forward to that. We're going to be going to the east side of Fort Worth. We're going to be going to the south side of Fort Worth, just sharing things. We're going to be doing automotive training, of course, with the kids. Everything that we're doing, we adding a biblical twist to it. Thanks to Streetside Classic, thanks for Painless wires, thanks to a lot of our sponsors. Y'all can see the other sponsors on our website, tftcommunity.org or fortwealthyworth.org. And so with that said, now we're going through this 32 weeks. 7 o'clock every Friday morning.
Your choice. 7 o'clock.
We both busy with schedule. It works out for me. I'm an early bird. I'm up at 3:30, 4 o'clock every morning. So hey, it works out. And plus, you get that meat and it starts your day off. I had a beautiful day yesterday. That started my morning and it just lingered on. You mentioned real quick quiet times.
Yes.
Quiet times. Explain quiet times to our audience who doesn't know about quiet time.
Well, first of all, quiet times is our just individual, personal time alone with God.
Okay.
Revelation 3:20 that we use a lot in evangelism, where it says, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him, and he with me, and will sup with him, and he with me, and me with him, and so actually, quiet times really is eating with God. It's feasting at his table in the morning.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It's an unhurried time. It's a time that I get to converse with him and through prayer, and then he communicates to me through his word.
Okay.
So it's and I've had quiet times over the years, and I've done it in different ways. I really believe in variety is the spice of life, and so I'll change things up. If things become too dry for me, and I've developed different approaches in terms of quiet times as well. But overall, it's just been just a great time. I call it a spiritual sandwich. With
Yes,
prayer
sir.
on the two buns,
Yes, sir.
prayer,
Yes, sir.
and then in the middle would be the Word of God.
There you go.
So, but it's a time to receive from Him.
Okay. Well, good deal. I have enjoyed my quiet times. I shared with you yesterday, and behind the camera, y'all, we have Mr. Dexter Hickman. He's our VP of marketing. So, we are looking to do our fundraiser coming up this spring. And so, I was troubled on how we was going to do it. We had threw some ideas around, and so that evening, it was still on my mind. And so, but when I woke up and I did my quiet time, it was like he laid out a plan already.
Yeah.
He was like, just do what you do what you've done in the past, and but just make it better. And maybe even not maybe, but put him first on everything, especially your finance, your family, your children. So that quiet time, I'm telling you, if y'all get up in the morning, spend you 5-10 minutes with him. I know what it does to me. The first thing you do is give thanks. If I'm not correct, I'm correct, you give thanks, and then the second part is ask for forgiveness.
Well, actually, I use the ACTS principle: adoration, confession, thanksgiving, and supplication.
Yes, sir.
And the first button,
That's the first
which
button.
is prayer on top, would be adoration and confession. Okay, and then on the bottom, the second button would be thanksgiving and supplication.
Okay. And so so you have that sandwich, and so you do that supplication, and then I call it, I just say praying for others. You pray for others. Once again, I'm gonna go back to the organization Hope Farms. They have devotions. We have devotions on Wednesdays and Mondays, and we have meetings on Wednesday. But at the same time, we're always praying for individuals or people. Praying for the organizations, praying for our community, praying for our cities, praying for our boys out here in our communities. And so it's a big deal. God want to hear your prayers for others. Other people need to be built up. Yeah,
and I'm personally excited about you and I getting together and what God will do in the future. And of course, we don't know what God can do. Right. And so, but this particular study that you and I are doing, it's been around since 2011, and there's a saying that says, see where God is working and jump in. Okay. And that's basically what we're doing is we're jumping into a study to a situation where God has used it over the years. Yes, sir. In countries, many countries, and around the United States as well. Outstanding. For Himself, and men are being built up. Yes, sir. And that's what we're trying to do. They're becoming men, I should say. Right, because let me tell you guys, like I say, I went through this one program, and it was fortified, and so I learned that, like I mentioned, a worldly man versus a godly man. There is a difference. And so I want to thank you for your time. And again, thank you for meeting with me. Once again, I wouldn't be here without you. I think, like you said, God is definitely doing something with us. He's pouring into us so we can pour into others. Amen. Amen. And so I thank you for that. And hey, guys, once again, we are here at Streetside Classic every fourth Saturday of the month. I just want to let y'all know we also got a car show going on. I'm going to be bringing on Mr. Justin here in a little bit to talk about the car show, to talk about their ventures with our military, the veterans. Okay. And so I believe it's called Gallant. And so we're going to talk about that here shortly. But I do want to again thank you, Mr. Bob. And look forward to, again, thank you for your service. And I look forward to next Friday, putting in some work. And hey, guys, again, thank all our sponsors. Go to our website, tftcommunity.org or fortwealthyworth.org. And we're here at Streetside Classics for our Caffeine, Classic, and Community. Thank y'all. Y'all have a blessed day. Look forward to seeing y'all in the community. Thank you. All right. Hey, I love these. Good morning. My name is Broderick Taylor. Hey, we're here at Fort Wealthy Worth Podcast Show. Special thanks to Streetside Classic. We are at our monthly, every fourth Saturday, Caffeine, Classic, and Community, and podcast show. So, we got some special guests this morning. I'm going to have them introduce themselves and their organizations, and we're going to talk car and community and have a little fun. First on my right here, we got Mr. Justin. Mr. Justin, give us a little bit about yourself.
I head up a car club here in North Fort Worth, Awal Mafia car club, and we started by getting together and raising money for veterans at our monthly or yearly car show in May. And we've branched off from that to do other things, other events to raise money for other charities around the community. Okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna bounce back to you here shortly, and then next over here, y'all can't miss him. You know what I'm saying? He's riding high today, baby. We got the cowboy hat, got the shade, got the shorts, rocking the Nikes. Hey, he's doing his thing. We got the fresh man, Mr. Winters, over here.
Yeah, hi, I'm Kurt Winters. I run a YouTube channel called the Kurt Winters YouTube channel. We specialize in everything from C4 Corvettes through 90 JDM cars, and we do a lot of car shows. We go out to about 30 to 40 events a year.
Yes, sir.
And so if you're on YouTube, make sure you like, share, subscribe to Kurt Winters YouTube channel. And there's a little something for everything on my channel. Okay. So yeah, everything automotive related. Okay, well, good deal. One good thing about it, Mr. Winters is sitting here, but the wife is out there looking for a new little toy. Yes, she is. And so we definitely want you to come down and do some shopping here, take you a nice classic home. There you go. Because we don't want those EVs to take over. We want those combustion engines to keep making money and staying popular.
There you go. So leave that in California, right?
Yeah,
leave that stuff in California.
Which kind of leads to your organization.
Yes, sir.
You were talking about the training program.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
explain a little bit about
All
that.
right, so we are teaching the introduction to automotive training. We're going from the motor, transmission, drivetrain, tire pressure. We want our youth to have a little education about it. The main thing about it with the automotive training, we also doing welding, a little home construction, teaching about the tools. We realize that most of our kids these days are not going to college. And there's a lot of trades out there where they can make a great living at it.
Sure.
You know, and so we want to basically give them the introduction to those areas. And so with automotive training, one of our sponsors here, where we're at here, Streetside Classic, we're so thankful for them because they kind of have the same mindset. All these beautiful cars you see, you need technicians to work on them. Like you mentioned, you buy a car. We know you buy a car, you're going to need a little work done, right?
Absolutely.
And so guess what? We need somebody. We kind of all say that we're not mechanically inclined, so we're not going to work on our cars. You know what I'm saying? So we'll work on yours, but we're not going to work on ours. So we need somewhere to take these cars.
Well, that's a really good point, and I think what you're basically explaining is mentorship.
That's it.
And you know, I think if a lot of kids had the kind of mentors that would teach them the craft or a trade, you know, that's an invaluable life skill that can give you a career. You know, that American dream that you want. So that's really important. And I think working on cars, and you can kind of comment on this, it's becoming a lost art.
It is.
You know, and as cars get more technologically advanced, I mean, like in the new McLaren, you can't even check the oil.
No. Without paying $1,000 probably. You know what I'm saying?
You have to take it to the dealer and they have to take it apart.
Yeah,
so I'm really excited that you're part of a program like that that's teaching that sort of thing to the youth, because that's super important.
Man, we thank you, and it's our pleasure to do it. Like I said, we couldn't do it without great sponsors like Streetside, Painless Wires. I can go Summit, NPD. You know, just go to the website tftcommunity.org or fortwealthyworth.org. You know, check out our sponsors, and we're so thankful and grateful for them. So, Mr. Justin, I'm gonna jump back on your car club.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, how long have y'all had the car club?
We launched in April of last year.
Okay.
We started it after my brother-in-law passed away in a motorcycle accident.
Okay. Sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
Something came out of it.
Yeah, we wanted to turn a very negative into a positive.
Okay.
So I thrive off of doing good.
Outstanding.
So, and I saw my wife's pain that she was going through, and I didn't feel like there was an outlet for it. So we, over the years, had collected cars.
Okay.
Kind of accidentally became collectors.
Right.
So I started kind of putting two and two together, and he was huge into helping veterans.
Okay.
So he was never able to serve, but because of that, he had even more heart for the veterans to help them.
Outstanding.
So we came up with Awal Mafia. Awal is his name here in Walston.
Okay.
And we decided to have a car show in May, the weekend he was killed.
And that's going to be the car show this year. The second annual will be here at Streetside.
Yes, here at Streetside, May 25th.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to partner with you
Yes,
guys
sir. Yes,
and have just a big get-together, big event.
Yes, sir.
And our tagline is kind of, celebrate life, celebrate hot rods.
That's awesome.
So
right. You like that?
I've learned that cars bring people together, and then when you're together, you can do great things.
That man can't do it.
When you're alone.
I have a couple of surprises, and I got one ask. The first surprise is I talked to our veteran coordinator, and we would like to come do a big cookout for your veterans.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Okay.
We want to do a big cookout for your veterans. Do some burgers, whatever. We'll come up with some links. We'll come up with the menu but we want to add y'all. We want to partner with y'all in that aspect also.
Okay. So that's another reason for everyone to come out and grab a burger.
Exactly. Hey, I'm not bad on the grill. Hey, my brother Mark, man, I got a shout out to him. We're grillers, man. We like smoking meat. We like cooking. We like tasting different seasons. But it's not a talk show about the food, but we're on the cars. Now, my ask, May 25th, Mr. Winters.
Yes.
Are you here? Is the Winters podcast show here also?
May 25th.
You got to talk to Mama first, or can we put him on the spot, y'all? Can we put him on the spot?
I got to talk to my producer first.
I got you.
Before I can commit to that.
Okay,
But,
okay.
Yes, we'll be here. Absolutely.
All right, there you go. Outstanding. So,
Yeah,
Justin, hey, man, we're going to
awesome.
double up that. We're going to feed us some veterans. We're going to have a blast out here, man.
Awesome.
You know, I'm thankful for what you did. One of the things that you mentioned is that I think it's going to get ran out of you pretty soon between me and this guy here. That you're shy. You're not a camera guy. So, we got our work to be done with him. Because I don't see Mr. Winters being shy at all.
No.
You know?
No,
He seems very comfortable.
Yeah, I've never been shy. You know, when you grow up as pale as I am with red hair, you kind of grow a thick skin. So,
There you go.
But no, again, that's awesome. And I was going to ask you, does your car club specialize in any type of car, or is it just kind of all
It's any car. I didn't want to just be this one thing. I wanted to be able to get everybody involved. So if you love cars, you love cars. It doesn't matter what car, old car, new car.
No,
I've got a new 2011 Volvo. I've got a 58 TR3. So I run the gambit.
I had a couple of midgets, man. I had a couple of MG midgets, man.
Yeah.
Everybody told me to get rid of those cars. Dude, I had a blast running on the diesels. Okay, I shouldn't be talking about that. But that was back in the long days. So both of y'all collect cars. All right, I had to everybody know out there, I had to sell my cars to get started in the community. Not a problem, not an issue. But let's go, Mr. Winters. You said 8 or 9 cars. Run them off for me. What you have?
Okay, so my dependents don't have social security numbers. They have VIN numbers. So I always start with my oldest. So we have a 1993 Nissan 300ZX convertible. We've got a 1994 Corvette in competition yellow with 80,000 miles. We've got a 1995 Mitsubishi 3000 GT SL. Then we've got a 1998 Lexus ES 300, a 2003 Hummer H2, which we just bought. We'll be doing some videos on the channel.
Okay.
We have a 2007 Pontiac Grand Prix GTP, and then a 2014 Terrain SLT, which is more my little daily driver.
Okay.
And then we've got several motorcycles and several parts cars that you guys don't even want to hear about. So,
All right. Well, that's the Winters collection. Let's go to the Justin's collection. What we have, sir?
Well, my daily driver is a 2011 Volvo C70.
Okay.
My wife has a 2022 Ford Bronco.
Okay.
very cool truck.
Yes.
Yeah,
sir.
she loves that thing. I've got a 1958 Triumph TR3. That was my
sir.
first one. I've got a 65 Mustang, which I brought today.
That's the car right there.
Bright yellow out there.
That's the car. You gotta take me for a ride now.
Okay.
Are we ready?
All right, yeah.
All right.
I got what's my wife's, a 53 Chevy 3/4 ton pickup truck that we're getting running.
Okay.
And I'm doing a total rebuild on a 59 El Camino at the moment.
Outstanding.
Very cool car.
All right, well, let me put a little nugget. We do have an 84 C10 in Fort Worth ISD school district, the automotive classes. So we got 5 schools in Fort Worth. They have Dunbar, Northside, ODY, Trimmelcheck, and Poly. And so this truck is going to school, getting done, And so hopefully we're looking in the fall to have it up here at Streetside for the fall show. And so they took it down to the frame. Y'all can take a look at some pictures on social media. Of course, y'all been seeing them coming up. We're going to end the school year over at Dunbar with the motor being put in. So we have the frame, brakes, suspensions, and then the motor be put in. Then when school come back, we'll be taking it back to Trimble Tech for the body. Mr. Alfaro over there. Mr. Shorty from Shorty Dream Shop is coming to talk to the kids. Give them a little hype of seeing a celebrity, working with the kids and give them some tips about the career of the body shop. Like you mentioned, you're body man, you know. And then it'll go from Trimmer Tech over to Poly High. Mr. Ramos and Mr. Chambers over there, they'll be doing the steering and the electrical. Electrical is Painless wires. Y'all know they're here in Fort Worth. And so we're waiting on Mr. Dennis. Hopefully he's taking his wife to the airport. So hopefully the airport traffic's not too bad. He gets to make it this weekend. And then we're going to end up over here on Northside. Northside's doing all the details and everything, all the finishing. And so hopefully we'll get that done and we'll be at a show out here. And so we'll definitely have you out, the podcast. We'll have your group out. We're going to be rocking and rolling.
Sounds good. Yeah.
I got one more ask. Waiting for the invite for your show. I'm coming to you.
We would love to have you on the channel, man,
all right.
and get a chance to promote what you do because,
Yes, sir.
Giving back to the community is so important, and
Yes,
it
sir.
sounds like that's both heavy on both of your hearts.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
I'm
sir.
glad to hear that, and I appreciate you guys having me on today. It was
Yes,
a
sir.
blast. And remember, also, you can follow me on Facebook
Yes, sir.
under Kurt Winters. You'll see a big obnoxious guy wearing sunglasses and a cowboy hat. So I'm kind of hard to miss on purpose. And do you have a Facebook group for your?
Yeah.
I was looking on here.
Yeah, it's Awal Mafia Car Club. Facebook
AWOL
and
Mafia Car Club.
And website too is awalmafia.com.
And there, y'all heard it. And so you had told us something earlier. We're a biblical organization, and you threw out something. Use a pastor's child. Dive into this. I haven't never met a pastor's child. I don't believe I have.
So for me to talk about this, I usually get charged $30 an hour
Oh,
by my
man.
therapist. So yeah, you don't want to go down that
Okay,
lane
okay.
with me. But no, just kidding. Regardless of your faith, your religion, your beliefs, what churches and what the Christian community does a lot is they give back.
There you go.
And they reach out to a lot of people who don't have a support system, who don't have a family in town, who might be going through something. Everybody's going through something. You never know.
Right.
So although your religious beliefs are your own, but I always respect and admire people like you who
Yes, sir.
give back to the community, especially through Christian organizations. So definitely
Outstanding.
thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Hey, not a problem, man. I'm just here trying to. I tell everybody, I'm just trying to earn brownie points, man, to get upstairs. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to do, man. Cause it's
Yeah, I went so far the other way in the early 90s.
Oh, man,
my
there's some-
tickets punched. I'm going somewhere else where it's a little hotter.
It's like we never know,
But,
man.
you
You're gonna go to Florida before you go.
Or
The
I
opposite
used to go to
of-
Thailand.
Okay.
That's where I usually go.
Hey, it's never too late, man. I tell you, it's never too late because the '90s, man. That was the time, man. That was some great times in the
Well,
'90s.
as Vanilla Ice said, the 90s were the last great decade. That was
There
the
you
last
go.
time
There you go.
you could have fun, pop culture, and we were
Yeah. Without too much
riding high on
consequences.
that .com boom. We had Bill Clinton in office.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, I dig it, man. I dig it.
Yeah,
Hey.
again, I appreciate you having me
Yes,
on.
sir. Yes, sir. Both of you guys. Thank y'all. Once again, you got Mr. Winter's YouTube channel. You got his Facebook. You got awalmafia.com for Mr. Justin. Hey, I'm For Wealthy Worth. We want to thank you. Again, thank you to our sponsors. We are here at Streetside Classic for our Caffeine Classics and Community, and we'll be seeing y'all shortly. Thank y'all. Y'all have a blessed weekend. Thank you.